It's Monday, March 31st.
We're kind of struggling to keep ourselves going. We got generators going, power lines are down.
Left in the dark, Peterborough, Orillia, Muskoka all declare states of emergency. And this morning, roughly 400,000 customers are without power after a massive weekend ice storm, which is moving east.
Hello.
Holding out hope, rescue teams still looking for survivors 3 days after a powerful earthquake hit Myanmar and Thailand.
Right now, Mark Carney is a political freight train, and he's bearing down on Pierre Poilievre and Jagmeet Singh.
Riding high, a new poll shows the Liberals leading in the federal election, with U.S. President Donald Trump and those U.S. tariffs still the main ballot box issue.
Thank you so much.
Honoring an icon. There she is, Anne-Marie, getting her Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2025 Junos. Oh, we love it. Dressed in her Canadian best. Details on these stories just ahead. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada, and welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Eid Mubarak to all of our viewers who've been celebrating the end of Ramadan. I'm Lindsey Deluce. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Happy Monday. I'm Kelsey McEwen. Thanks for starting your day off with us.
A bit of a wintry, stormy, ice stormy weekend. I know, let's make that our top story because everyone's talking about it. This morning, the ice storm. Yeah, roughly 400,000 customers are still without power this hour in parts of Ontario. There are states of emergency this hour in Peterborough, Muskoka, Orillia, and the township of Oro-Medonte. In Peterborough, I mean, look at this damage here. About 115,000 customers are without power. Hydro One is saying it will not be back online until Wednesday, so still a couple of days to go. People in many parts of central Ontario are being told to stay home, stay off the roads. They're also being told to stay at least 10 meters away from any downed hydro line. A number of school boards are also canceling classes today. There are also scattered power outages in Quebec, north of Montreal. Kelsey has the latest on where the storm is heading next, so she'll be with us in just a couple of minutes with that. To international news now, Myanmar's military rulers have declared a week of national mourning for the 1,700 people killed in Friday's earthquake. Rescue teams are still looking for survivors 3 days after the 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit. This morning, China is reporting that one of their teams rescued 4 people from that collapsed building in Mandalay. The United Nations is warning of a humanitarian crisis in Myanmar where ongoing civil war is happening. It's complicating the relief efforts. This morning, Thailand's prime minister visited the site of that collapsed high-rise in Bangkok, but she was actually forced to leave when news came about a possible survivor in the debris. There are 75 construction workers trapped in the rubble. Bangkok's governor says there is still hope of finding survivors. At least 19 people have died in Thailand as a result of the earthquake. Well, with the federal election now into its second week, a new poll is showing the Liberals still in the lead.
With the April 2 tariff announcements, whatever they might be, it'll probably be another good week for the Liberals unless Mark Carney makes some sort of misstep.
The new poll from Nanos Research has the Liberals at almost, well, you can see that on your screen, almost 42%. The Conservatives sitting at 37%. The NDP are third at just about 10%. U.S. President Donald Trump and the U.S. trade war still the major concern for voters. New auto tariffs and reciprocal tariffs from the U.S. are expected to take effect this week. Nick Nanos, founder and chief data scientist at Nanos Research, will join us in the next hour to talk about the latest polling numbers. A Liberal candidate is now under fire over comments he made about a Conservative rival.
No family should ever have to worry about their safety. Markham is my home too.
Paul Cheng is running as the Liberal incumbent in Markham, Unionville. In an interview in January, he said people could bring his Conservative rival, Joe Tay, to the Chinese consulate to collect a $1 million Hong Kong bounty. Now, Tay is a Beijing critic who was running for the Conservative nomination in Cheng's riding. Joe Tay is now running for the Conservatives in a different riding in Toronto. Cheng has apologized for his comment. The Liberals are standing by Cheng, despite calls from the Conservative and the NDP parties calling for him to be dropped.
No capital gains when you reinvest the money here in Canada.
On the campaign trail, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre proposed a capital gains deferral for investors as long as the money is reinvested in a Canadian company within 18 months. The tax bill comes when investors cash out or move money out of the country.
Give first-time homebuyers public-backed, low-interest, fixed-term loans to buy their first home.
The NDP were campaigning on housing. Leader Jagmeet Singh announced a plan to help people afford their first home by expanding the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation's mandate. Elections Canada is hiring more than 200,000 people for a number of temporary roles in the federal election. Each position pays at least $20 an hour. Eligibility, it's pretty simple. So poll workers must be Canadian citizens. You must be at least 16 years old. You can't participate in political activities while employed. There are a few other skills needed, like basic literacy and the ability to work with others. The federal election is being held April 28th, with early voting between April 18th and 20th. The ability to work with others. The Université de Montréal has now issued new guidelines around travel to the U.S. for staff and students.
So people crossing the border from a university or research setting may be traveling with electronic equipment that stores sensitive research data that we are under an obligation to protect.
They're warning people could be turned away at the border if they refuse to unlock their device. So one of the guidelines advises them not to travel with sensitive information. Staff and students are also being asked to tell the school when they're traveling and to discuss potential risks before heading to the States. Michael Bublé really leaned into the patriotism Canadians are feeling at last night's Juno Awards.
We are the greatest nation on earth. And we are not for sale.
That's Michael Bublé giving his response to taunts about annexation from south of the border. So in terms of the winners from last night's Junos, it was a great night for Tate McRae, even though she wasn't there. She won both Artist, Single, and Album of the Year. The Beaches took Group of the Year, while Nemesis was named Breakthrough Artist of the Year. And it was so nice to see Anne-Marie also receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. She received it dressed in a sequined, how about that, Team Canada jersey.
Winner is
Jeannie Hunter!
This was a lovely moment. There was also a once-in-a-lifetime moment for an Ottawa high school teacher. Longtime music teacher Jeannie Hunter won the Music Teacher of the Year award. I love that. She leads the music program at Nepean High School.